as strong people-to-people linkages, including those of kinship. The talks between the two Prime Ministers characterized the traditional warmth and cordiality between our two countries. The two leaders engaged in fairly comprehensive and constructive and future-oriented discussions directed towards taking India-Nepal bilateral relationship forward in a manner that is constructive, progressive and beneficial for both our societies. The discussions and outcomes cover the entire spectrum of bilateral cooperation, including political, economic, trade, energy, connectivity, infrastructure cooperation, and also development partnership. I would briefly share with you key outcomes during the two Prime Ministers' discussion, which were also announced just ahead of the press remarks. Let me start with the power sector, which has been one of the key signature successes of India-Nepal partnership in recent years. As you would recall, India and Nepal had issued a joint vision statement on power sector cooperation in April last year, when former Prime Minister Shri Sher Bahadur Deobaji was visiting India. During the talks today, the two Prime Ministers appreciated the growth in the power sector cooperation and also the export of over 450 megawatts of power from Nepal to India. A major decision today, which was also announced by Honorable Prime Minister in his press remarks, was the understanding by both leaders to increase the quantum of export of power as an objective from Nepal to India to 10,000 megawatts within next 10 years. As regards power generation, an MOU was signed for the development of 480 megawatt Phokot Karnali hydropower power project in western Nepal by NHPC of India. Further, the signing of the project development agreement for the 679 megawatt Lower Arun project by India's Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam was also welcomed by the two Prime Ministers. Besides power generation and power trade, which I just mentioned, there were also achievements in the field of power transmissions, where the two Prime Ministers participated in the groundbreaking of the 400 kV Gorakhpur-Butwal transmission line. This is the second high-capacity interconnection between two countries. India has also decided to fund 3 major transmission corridors in Nepal under the line of credit support of about $680 million. These are Bheri Corridor, Nijgad-Inarwa Corridor, and Gandak-Nepalganj Corridor. As you would have all noticed in the press report some time ago, India has also agreed to permit the first trilateral power transaction from Nepal to Bangladesh via India for up to 40 megawatt of power. During the meeting, the two Prime Ministers also expressed their commitment to achieve tangible and time-bound progress on Pancheshwar multipurpose project. Both sides also concluded, besides this long list of agreements and specific cooperation in the field of hydropower, the both Prime Minister also saw key agreements concluded in the field of cross-border movement of goods, people and finance. Today, India and Nepal signed the revised Treaty of Transit, which would be among the things provide Nepal access to inland waterways of India for the first time. This is effectively once in a generation kind of agreement, which would contribute very significantly to the development of trade and investment linkages between India and Nepal. The two Prime Ministers also inaugurated the twin integrated checkposts in Rupedia in India and Nepalganj in Nepal. Both Prime Ministers also conducted the groundbreaking ceremony of the twin ICPs in Sunauli in India and Bhairava in Nepal. An MOU for the construction of another integrated checkpost in Dodara Chandni in the far western Nepal under Indian grant assistance was also concluded. India has also decided.
Right, so that was the MEA briefing on the interaction between both the Prime Ministers of India and Nepal when it comes to boosting bilateral relations. Let's